Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? It's your girl Jamila Nunez, and I'm your host for our special series called Being Black. In this podcast series, we are going over Black owners, Black businesses, Black artists, Black community members, anything Black, anyone Black, any being Black, all in San Diego, just to speak our truths, our experiences, our opinions, and our perspective in regards to the local San Diego community, but also in regards to today's society. So if you like what you hear, please share each episode, which one you like the most, whatever you'd like. And if you feel like you want to interview and get your voice out there, please reach out to us. All of our information will be in each episode detail. And yes, hope you enjoy. Thank you. Perfect. Well, how are you, first of all? First
I'm
and
good. How are
foremost,
you?
I'm doing, just trying to adjust with this, new moon and also this moon time cycle. So,
Oh
you know
yeah.
how that goes.
Yeah, of course. I just got off mine and yeah, I'm feeling like myself again. I'm feeling re-energized. Like I can finally do
Yes.
things and just yeah, be more productive. Catching up on
I know.
rest.
Exactly. Like people don't understand. Like I'm really trying to figure out how we can make this like a mandatory thing where like when we are on our moon time, we don't go to work, we don't go to school, like
No,
for that time
literally.
period because it's
Yeah.
such a people don't realize how heavy it is and how
Yeah.
like how much it can be.
Yeah,
So
energetically
especially
too, it's just like your energy is already low. Your body is like rest and stretch and just eat
hmm
eat something that will like ground you, but like yeah, life just doesn't allow for that space.
it doesn't. And that's what I was thinking. Like yesterday, I was eating a whole bunch of fruits. I was stretching. I was laying in
Mm-hmm.
bed. I even went to work. And after an hour and a half, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I literally
Yeah,
physically
literally.
cannot do this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Yeah.
they like let me go home. But I was like, wow, like when you're really in tune and like very aware and mindful of your body, you see how much it is. Like,
Exactly. And
it's
it's
so
hard
much.
to like ignore that.
It is. It's like no, I'm not gonna put my feelings and my body's pains aside so I can make money for you. Like, no, like I need to
Exactly.
take care of my body.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Well, yes. Well, that was our intro, I guess. Well, well. Thank you again for allowing yourself to interview with us, and then speaking up for who you are, allowing your voice to inspire others. It's really, really I think it's very important, especially in our times now with what we're facing and how we're trying to make this movement happen. So, again, I appreciate you just coming on here and holding space with us. I really do appreciate it.
Yes, and I appreciate you reaching out. This is like the first time I've ever done something like this, and yeah, I was a little bit nervous. I still feel a little. Um, but just working to overcome that because I do feel like it's a part of I guess okay, I love you too. Um, I feel like it's a part of like what I'm supposed to be doing here
hmm
to I guess just like talk to people and like talk in front of people and like let folk know what's up.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
honestly, and it's okay to be nervous, and it's because you're putting your vulnerability out there, and then
Mhm.
also just really speaking up is something that we're not used to, and so being able to do that, it paves the way for the future generations. So it's just like this is a start. This is only the start. So you're okay to be nervous. You can cuss. You can be you on here, right? I tell people in other interviews too. It's like I want you to be your most authentic self. I don't want you to hide anything. I don't want you to suppress anything. If you feel like
Mhm.
you want to say something, like please by all means do so, because I am someone who says exactly what she wants, when she wants, and how she wants it. Right. So
Right.
I want to hold that space so others can do the same and not feel ashamed. So
Mhm.
yes, ma'am. Well, let's, kind of just get into it. Just
Okay,
tell us
for
a little bit
sure.
about yourself and who you are, what you do, how you identify yourself, all the good
Okay.
things.
Yeah, for sure. So, my name is Jazmin. I go by Jazmin Ayana. The kids call me Miss Jimmy, you know. My pronouns are she, her, but, you know, any works. You know, sometimes I feel a little fluid. Sometimes I feel a little handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as long as you address me respectfully, it doesn't really matter to me.
Yes, ma'am.
And I am an artist. I am a flower fairy. I work with like plants and flowers. And I'm also an activities coordinator for like after school programs. So I get to work with like Black and brown kids in different communities and different like apartment complex homes, I guess.
Oh,
And yeah, we do yoga, we meditate, we do arts and crafts and stuff like that. They like to talk about astrology and things.
that's
And
amazing.
yeah, I just get to like hang out pretty much, and that's just like my work. And then, um, like I said, I'm an artist, so I create, and we we go to like different events out here in San Diego and stuff like that, and just share like our art and our heart with the world.
Yes. And so, just for anybody who is really listening, she was one of our donators for
Mm-hmm.
our first brunch by the bay. And so, I'm going to have her talk a little bit about that, but just please tune in on this part for real. So, go ahead and
Yes,
talk about your
definitely.
quantum leaf vibrations, please.
Okay, yes. So quantum leaf.
Uh oh, I think
I,
we.
oh,
Can you
hello.
repeat that? Sorry, we kind of lost you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So quantum leaf vibrations is like that's me. That's just what I do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I work with like different stones and metals and things to create EMF.
Uh oh, I think we lost you. Okay, back.
Okay, good, good.
All right. So yeah, you were talking about quantum leaf vibrations and kind of just going into detail about how you move forward with that.
Okay, yeah. So it kind of started, I guess, long before I realized it had begun. I
Mm-hmm.
was working with a friend that I met in yoga teacher training, and we were doing like medium work.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed a way for myself to just stay connected and stay grounded in my own body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and um, essentially like protect myself against like other entities and energies
Right.
infiltrating like my vessel. So that's
Mm-hmm.
when like shungite came into my life, and it's just something that resonated with me like all these years, maybe like since 2017 or 2018, I think.
Nice.
um and then a couple years down the line, like I would collect little things in my phone case, like leaves and fortune cookie fortunes or different little things that I liked, and I decided to like kind of put them together,
Mm-hmm.
um, so that we could be like protected from these things that we keep in our pockets next to our reproductive organs. We put them next to our head, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on them all day. We use them for like nearly everything. And so that's kind of how quantum leaf vibrations came about. And I do source like most of my like material locally.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just a really like fun way for me to embody all that I am and everything that I love. I love like plants. I love being outdoors and picking flowers and things like that. And I also really enjoy feeling like a mad scientist and an alchemist. So,
Yes.
you know, to like bring the two of those things together and create something that I'm able to like share with people I love. And people that resonate with it, people from all over, you know, like
Yeah.
it's a really cool thing to have created and to have seen like from the ground up, and to still like, you know, it's all me. This is my shit, you know.
Yes.
So it's so cool to just have this for myself, and even just to hear you say that, I'm like, oh my god, that's me, you know. It's still very
Yes.
exciting. Yeah.
Honestly, like, so the first time we met, guys, we did a Sacred Feminine. We were vendors at this event, and I was so nervous. I was like, oh my god, this is my first
Mm-hmm.
event, like da da da. And her and Gabe were the first people I came and talked. I was like, so please tell me, how do I
Right.
do this? You know? And
Yes.
they provided me with so much like positivity and just uplifting words and just motivation to keep going regardless. And then ever since I talked to both of them, like I was like, okay, I was grounded. I didn't have any worries. I was like, okay, I got this. But
Mm-hmm.
from that day forward, like I made sure that I was like linked in with both of them, you know? So
Yes.
like she is the real deal. Gabe, hopefully we can get her on here too.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yes, like just so you guys know, I've met almost everyone that I will be interviewing. If I haven't, I will, you know. But yeah, she's doing the damn thing out here, y'all. Just so y'all know.
Yes, thank you for that affirmation. And
Yeah, of
yeah, for those
course.
listening, if y'all have not seen like her work in person or come to an event or anything, that is definitely an experience that everyone deserves to have, because like she said, we met at like her first event and I was very shocked. I was like, wow, like your presentation and just how you represent yourself
Oh,
is like, it's beyond words, you know. Like I would not have guessed that that was your first time doing
oh,
something like
thank
that, you know.
you.
Yeah, of course. I
Thank
really
you.
admire that, because it takes a lot of courage to like you said, put yourself out there, whether it be like talking on a podcast or sharing like your heart with everybody, you know,
Hmm.
in physical form. So yeah, big ups to you. And for those also that don't know, Gabe is my partner.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
that's my gal.
Yes, we will have Gabe on here too one day when we can catch her. But
Okay, yeah.
that would be a nice little interview that we can have with both of you too, since you guys are
Yes,
partners
definitely.
and doing this, you know, this movement together. I really love the arts, and yeah, we'll definitely get you two both on an interview
Yes,
together.
would
That'd be
love
nice.
that.
Okay, well, let's just dive in a little bit. So,
Okay, for
how do you
sure.
identify yourself in today's society?
Um, I honestly, at this point in my life, I can't really, I guess, like take away how the world like perceives me, but I
Mm-hmm.
also don't like labels, you know.
Right.
Um, I do identify as a Black woman. I identify as, I guess, queer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I can't really separate myself from that
Right.
in any lens, whether it be my own or the lens of others, you know. So um that's something I'm learning to like embody when I look in the mirror now. Like for a long time that was a really challenging thing for, I guess, me to accept, you know.
Mm-hmm.
um I do come from like a mixed background. My mom is Filipino and my dad is Jamaican, and
Mm-hmm.
having like a woman um influence that she looks like me but she is not the same as me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
um Coming up was a little bit challenging to navigate, because certain things we didn't really see eye to eye on, you know.
Yeah.
There would be a lot of instances where people would ask if I was adopted,
Oh, wow.
which is really crazy, especially to ask like a child, you know.
Yeah.
um it's really like inappropriate. um and so for a while I fought with myself. I was like, okay, yes, I'm Black, but I'm also like my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm like my mom, but I'm also like, you know, just navigating like that whole like identity thing, I guess, you know.
Yes.
um but yes, now like I'm just like, okay, I am what I am, who I am, and like I can't really hide that, especially being like out here. um
Mm-hmm.
that has just become a little bit more I feel more comfortable like standing in that.
Right. So, okay, so let's because that was going to be my next question is like what your upbringing was like in your childhood. So,
Mhm.
because you are mixed,
Mhm.
do you feel like you had to suppress some parts of your identity because what you displayed wasn't, what you are, in a sense? So,
Um
like, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I guess so. And okay, so I was born in Maryland. I don't remember much of it. I moved to Texas when I was like 9.
Mhm.
And I stayed until like I graduated high school. So that was like the bulk of like my upbringing. And
Mhm.
all my friends were black. Most of my school was like black and brown.
Mhm.
Like white kids were definitely the minority.
Oh wow.
So that was, yeah. And that was definitely I don't know, just an interesting space to be in, like especially growing up out there. um I didn't really feel comfortable being like a full expression of myself, as
Mhm.
far as like being queer. Even like certain things, like they didn't understand, like you can be more than one thing. A lot of people were like,
Mhm.
oh, if you're not black, you're white, and I was like, I'm not white, you know.
Yeah.
um and just being questioned, I guess. I never really
Mhm.
felt like I had to like suppress it, but I felt very I don't know, they would like pick and poke at me
So you had to
certain
be like
things, you
defend.
know.
You had to like defend it,
Yeah,
if anything.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So I didn't I don't assume anything anymore, but I didn't know you were like mixed with Filipino. So that's
Hmm.
a whole different ballpark too. So
Yeah.
so then like with your upbringing, do you feel like your environment, like with having a Filipino mom and a Jamaican dad, like did it have an impact on who you are, or did it shape you? What were some things that you feel like could have hindered you as well in being
Mm,
your full self?
right. I do feel it shaped, of course it shaped me, you know. That's like
Mhm.
what I saw in the house. I got to experience like different cultures, different foods. I grew up with a, I don't like to call him stepdad, like a bonus dad, but
Mhm.
he's also black, and I grew up with like his side of the family, all my cousins and stuff. um so I got to experience like that part of like my life and that part of like culture. And on my mom's side, like I had my grandmother and all my cousins who were also mixed, you know.
Mhm.
um so I never really questioned like seeing, um I guess, like people that look different from one another, or kids that look different from their parents. Like I don't I kind of navigate the world, like I guess a little bit differently,
Mhm.
um just based on like what I've seen in my own household. um
Gotcha.
and I know like yeah, just everyone can kind of show up in very different ways. Like even my cousins on like my dad's side, like one of my aunties had like what 9 girls, and all of them look different from one another. So I never really questioned that,
Mhm.
um why some are light and why some are dark, why some have curly hair and wavy hair, you know. Like
Yeah.
that was never really like a thing for me. But I do remember my mom, was it my mom? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was my mom or my aunt told me, when my mom got pregnant with me, my grandma was like really upset
Mhm.
that, not that my mom was so young and so pregnant, but that my dad was black. And so she
Mm.
literally like got on her knees and was like crying and like, why me? You know, like it's not you. It didn't happen to you.
Right.
Um, and you know, she's older and she's very traditional, but I still have to like remind her, like, yeah, you know, like this is who we are, like me and my siblings and all of my cousins, you know. Like she'll comment on like my nieces and nephews like hair, or my cousin's hair. My brother came out here one year and they were like, oh, were you at the beach so every day, like you're so dark? And I'm like, he's black. And they get mad when I say things like that. And I'm
Oh my
like,
god.
I don't really know like what else to say to make you realize, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
so
very,
interesting.
yeah, exactly. At this
Oh
point, yeah,
goodness.
all I can do is just laugh because like what else can you do? Like I've spent a lot
Right.
of time being angry and feeling like I don't know, just like targeted even within my own family, but like no, it's whatever.
At this
I'm
point, it's like it is what it is.
exactly. And I've realized like not just in my family but just in my line of work, in
Hmm.
life in general, I feel like I am here and I exist solely to make you question everything you think you know and everything you thought that
Yep.
was, you know what I mean? So, and I'm okay
Hmm.
with that.
Yes, that's exactly what I like to hear. Like
Mhm.
people live by labels sometimes, and people live by identities, and
Mhm.
that's why I ask the questions sometimes too, because some people are just like, I I don't know. And it's like, but
Right.
I thought you did, you know? So it's
Right.
just like it's just having people really be more mindful of like what they limit themselves to, you know? And
Yeah.
so thank you for sharing that. That gives a little bit more insight and just, more knowledge about you. Now,
Thank
knowing more
you.
about you was really always going to be amazing.
Mhm.
So you moved to San Diego is what I was hearing.
Mhm.
Um when you first got here, what are your thoughts about San Diego?
I'm not gonna lie, I was shook. I was like, okay, first of all, there's no mountains in Texas. Like I said, I grew up around like a lot of black people, and
Mm-hmm.
to them, like doing outdoor stuff, like the only people that I talked to like in school and shit like that that would go fishing or go hiking or whatever the hell was like real country, real like white folks. And so I didn't really experience things like that in my like younger days. But when I came out here, I was like, oh, I'm in. Like I'm here for this, you know?
Right.
But it was definitely culture shock because even even like me, I had never like been around so many white people in my entire life. And so I was like, what am I going to do? You
Mm-hmm.
know? Um but I was staying with my aunt and uncle, and they had a like goddaughter that moved from Sacramento to here to go to SDSU.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they introduced us together, and then when she was going there, that's how I met like some of my friends. Initially it was just like party friends, but I was like, okay, so we're out here, you know, like
Right.
here we are. um there are like black people in San Diego that they're just hiding or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
um so yeah, and eventually like as I grew up, I can't remember like how exactly I came into like I guess the like black and like hippie and like spiritual community.
Mm-hmm.
um but just going to other places that weren't just like state parties or the club.
Mm-hmm.
I just started meeting different people, and I kind of found like my circle that I keep like very close to my heart, you know, like um through black expression, through like different yoga classes and different even like sunset kava and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
um Different like black spaces that exist here like for that purpose, to like network and to like, you know, exist as yourself, out here in a space where it's like there's only so many of us, so we might as well like stick together.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
completely agree with that. So,
Hmm.
with it being a culture shock, how did you feel being like woman in San Diego? Like even from like culturally shocked to like now, how do you feel?
um yeah, so I guess for a while, because like I said, growing up it's not really something I had to think about. I was just like I just am.
Mm-hmm.
um but I think as we get older, like society starts to creep in and makes you like, um how do I want to say it? Like decide,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, like label, label,
Yeah.
label, label. Who are you? What are you? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think like being out here, that's kind of like when I realized I was like, oh, like I'm kind of like expected to be something. And it was very, I don't know, I feel like I made myself very small. I was trying to fit into like certain boxes. And yeah, I was very sad, and I just felt so fucking miserable, and I looked in the mirror every day and I felt like that wasn't me, you know. I didn't know who this person was looking back at me, or I was just trying to like, I don't know, become them, if that made sense.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. But I didn't recognize that person as myself.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. I've done a couple of interviews already, and some of them they said what they said, you know, and I always respect. But this is what I want to hear too, because I resonate that a lot. Like, I'm from San Diego, born and raised, and I am mixed as well. So to hear someone else validate that, especially coming from a different state and a different environment and how, you know, background, like that's what I wanted to hear. And so yeah, it's very, very different here. I love it. Don't get
it
me
really
wrong.
is.
But there's a lot of differences that we all don't face or choose not to recognize.
Exactly. And I feel like, and this is something I constantly battle with just being out here. Like, I realize, like, we're in California, we're in San Diego, you know, it's a melting pot. Like, people from all over the world are here, you know. It's so open and like progressive, but like, why is it that we still have to exist in this way? And cater to people that like have no taste.
Yeah, have no
Essentially.
spice, no flavor, no, you
Exactly.
know.
No flavor. Exactly.
Yes, you put it in the perfect way. Like, I completely agree with you. Like I said, I moved back in like 2020, and I was in the Bay Area. I was in Oakland, San Francisco, San Jose, but my favorite
Oh,
spot was
yes.
Oakland. All the
Of
Black
course.
community, and it was everything. I was able to breathe. I was able to just be and walk down the street and be acknowledged of
Exactly.
the queen that I am, you know? And so
Exactly.
coming back here, it was like a whoo, okay, let me try to get these shallow breaths going, you know, let me start breathing
Exactly.
again. So it's just it's one of those tough things that I don't think we all recognize if we're from here, to leave and come back and be like, whoa, it is
Right.
actually pretty suppressed here, you know.
Exactly.
There's all these different cultures and this and that, and so many, you know, it is progressive and it is very liberal, but at the same time we have to fit in certain boxes. We have to check certain boxes off. We have
Right.
to be a certain way. Be in California, Hollywood, like people see
Right.
it that way. So it's like now we
Exactly.
all have to fit this image. But I say hell no.
Exactly. Exactly. That's not me, and that will never be me.
No. So with that being said, with like the suppression and just, you know, fixing, you know, who you're supposed to look like, looking in the mirror and not you know, acknowledging who this person is, or not even knowing who this person is, like in regards to mental health as a, you know, Black woman in San Diego, what are your views on it in today's society?
Like, my own mental health, or just
I would
overall?
say overall, or even with yourself, you know, being a Black woman, especially growing up the rest of your, you know, your livelihood here, where you do you feel like you had, you know, proper access to resources if you were feeling that way, and like especially at a younger
Okay.
age, you know?
Um, Honestly, to put it straight, no.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I went to like school for psychology, and I wanted to be like a, like, what do you call, like, talk therapist, like sit on
Mm-hmm.
my couch and I'll ask you questions and all that shit.
Yeah.
Um, because I realized, like, I was going to therapy for like a little while, and I was just like, this woman, this white woman that I'm talking to will never get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really matter what I say. She won't really see me like fully. Like, I
Right.
need to be seen like in this moment. And even like being in school, I
Mm-hmm.
was like one of the only women, and usually like the only woman of color in like those spaces. So it was
Yeah.
really interesting to see how much um just knowledge and awareness has has an impact on like our communities, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I did drop out. I am not afraid to say it, because fuck that. It really was not sitting right with me. um, and in my own life and in my own experiences, finding like my community has definitely been like the therapy that I need.
Mm-hmm.
But I also realize not everybody has that, and not everybody even knows that they need it. um, so yeah, it's really unfortunate that we live in a space where and not even just here, it's I guess like everywhere, like I feel like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are going without like what they need, without even realizing, without even having the awareness. Like mental health is so important, and like having an outlet, whether it be like talking to a person or some form of creation or movement, you know, like
Yeah.
not knowing that that is something that can like help heal you on like a cellular, on a spiritual level is yeah.
I completely agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
We've because even speaking from my own experience too, it's like I felt all of these things, but I didn't know how to maneuver through them. Nobody taught me how to
Exactly.
breathe. Nobody taught me the
Mm-hmm.
proper way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
no one said if you just sit quiet and breathe and focus on your breath and just not let your breath, you know, your thoughts consume you, I would have been a
Mm-hmm.
better off. You know, just
Right.
simply that much, you know. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I completely agree. We didn't have the proper access to resources growing up, and we
Mm-hmm.
still don't. You know,
Exactly.
even with the pandemic happening and the increase in mental health issues, you have to wait through moving back. Me myself, I was going through a mental breakdown, and so
Mm-hmm.
for me to find a therapist, they said, "Well, the next one we have available is in 3 weeks. I need you now." You know, so it's
Exactly.
like, how can you put me on Medi-Cal and government support and then not provide me the actual things that I need, like a therapist or someone
Right.
who I can talk to?
Exactly.
You have all of this money, all of these foundations, all of these, you know, insurances to cover all of it, but I gotta wait 3 weeks.
Right.
Like, you know, so it's just to tap on that is thank you. Like not a lot of us don't have that. A lot of
Exactly.
us.
I feel
So
like too. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. No, no, you're
Oh,
fine.
I feel like too, like it's because I am this way, and I see it a lot too with just like people I know, people just being able to like exist as myself and see like recognize like these traits in other people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's so much easier to just push it off to the side, you
Mm-hmm.
know, in because you don't have that space um for you, or you don't create that space for yourself. Like a lot of people, and this is something I work through too with myself, is just like just brushing it off and pretending like, oh, it's no big deal, you know, I'm okay.
Yeah.
We always say like I'm okay when someone asks you how are you doing. Oh, I'm okay, I'm fine, you know. um because it's like, how do I even begin to touch on like how not okay I am?
Exactly.
And
And then when you touch on one of them, it's like you
it's
don't
a
know how to
snowball.
process that exactly. So all
Mm-hmm.
of it will come. And
Mm-hmm.
then we're forced to believe in society the way they raise us is like showing emotion, being vulnerable, crying is weak, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so with that on another belief as well, it's like we really can't open up or we feel like we
Exactly.
can't. So yeah, thank you, girl.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course. No, for
um,
real.
but so like um so with everything going on in today's society, the shootings, the killings, like do you ever feel
Mm.
triggered by these tragedies that are occurring?
Okay. Abso-fucking-lutely. Can I even just All right. Yes. Short answer, long answer is yes. Like I told you, I work with children. I don't work in a school setting specifically. I used
Mhm.
to. But when I was working, I used to work in like elementary school pre like pandemic.
Mhm.
And there was one black child, and he was being
Mhm.
raised by his like estranged uncle.
Oh.
Um, but I was like, okay, I have to like be here for this child. And even
Mhm.
in that space, I just felt like I never want to say like a child is undeserving, but they didn't value like the things that I had to offer them, if
Mm.
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Um, and then after that, like a couple months ago, like January to like what, like March, I was working as a preschool substitute. And again, it was just like, it didn't really hit. But there was a instance, there have been a couple instances working like with kids and in like a school system where I just felt like, oh shit, like this is real, this is what's
Mhm.
happening, and here I am, and how do I like fit in, like what do I do now, like we had
Yeah.
it was like a fire drill, like a fake fire drill,
Mhm.
but I was working with like toddlers, half of them can't even fucking walk.
Yeah.
And so I was like, if this was real, like we'd just be here, like
Yeah.
whether it be a fire drill, an active shooter, anything, like we would just be fucking sitting ducks because they couldn't turn on the alarms because the kids would cry, like, and that's not real life.
Yeah.
So I was just really surprised at how do I say, like, I don't know, just like systematically, like these things happen and nothing is done.
Mhm.
And I guess just like individuals are expected to like fend for themselves, even children, like I
Yeah.
in the elementary school I worked in, like at school they'll have like, if you're sick and this is how you cough into your elbow, or this is how you wash your hands, they've had this all over. But more recently, like I've seen, this is how to create like a tourniquet and stop bleeding.
Oh wow.
They didn't say like for what, but like it's implied.
Mhm.
um so yeah, and now in my work now, like I said, I work in like apartment complexes, so I go to like their like community center rooms or whatever. And the
Mhm.
one that I'm at, like most of the time, um all four walls are windows, like floor to ceiling windows. It's all glass. So I'm like hyper aware of who's walking past and who's stopping to look in, because it's me and a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
And of course they're doing kid shit, like they don't think about things like that. But um the other day, Tuesday actually, we had an incident, and I really had to center myself before talking to them. I really had to like take a pause,
Mhm.
because they I guess like you can see like the whole apartment complex. It's fucking huge too. There's like
Mhm.
over 200 people living there, apartments and like condo townhome thingies. So there's a lot
Mhm.
of people and there's a lot of kids that come. And so I'm helping somebody with homework, and I hear the door open, and I always tell them, let me know if you're leaving or if you're coming back. And I always tell them, don't open the door. But they're always like,
Mhm.
Miss Jasmine, it's this person. Miss Jasmine, it's this person. But I hear the door open, so I'm like, okay, somebody just came in. Um, but when I look up, I don't see anybody new.
Mhm.
And then out of the corner of my eye, I see somebody in the kitchen, because there's like a little kitchen, and it's
Mhm.
this grown ass man in the refrigerator. And I was like, that's weird.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, can I help you? And he was just like, oh, yeah, I just thought all these kids were in here by themselves. I thought you were one of the kids, which, okay, like I get that a lot.
Ugh.
But why not say something when you walk in at all. And why go to the fucking kitchen like this is your house?
Right.
And so, like, I was just like, yeah, I'm here, you know, like, I got his name. He told me where he lived. Because at first, he wasn't even going to tell me his name. I was like, no, like, who are you? And what are you doing here?
Mm-hmm.
And so after he left, I just kind of had to pause. And I say that to them, too. I'll be like, pause.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, stop everything you're doing.
Right.
And I was just like, does anybody know who that was? And it was crickets. And I think that's when they realized, like, okay, this is why she's like this when it comes to like leaving and coming back or just opening the door. Because, and it really fucking sucks that it had to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it's
was like,
scary with everything that's
it
happening
really
now.
shook me. And it really shook me more because, like, they're just fucking kids. Like, the youngest is like 7, the oldest is like 11. But
Yeah.
even an 11-year-old, they're like, okay, whatever, you know. But I told
Mm-hmm.
them, I was like, yo, like, nobody knew who that was. He could have just been somebody that walked up off the street and saw y'all in here or saw me in here. And they were like, I was like, he could have been a pervert. And someone said he could have been a serial killer. And I don't like saying, like, I don't like talking about certain things like in that space. Like, we don't say dead, we don't say kill. They have to be more creative with their words because their words mean things, you know.
Yeah.
But I was like, I wasn't gonna say it, but like, yes. And that's a very real, like, thing that could have happened, you know. And even to just say that and not put the blame on, like, you opened the door for them. But I was like, this is why we don't open the door. This is why we have to be mindful of like who's walking in and who's walking out and who's walking past, because everybody can see inside here.
Yeah.
And I never want to like put fear in their heart. And I feel like that's like a lot of the like the goal and the idea is to just like put fear in everyone's heart when things happen like this. But it's just to have that awareness, you know, just be mindful of your surroundings and be mindful of like who you allow into your space. And I always tell them, like, it's a safe space. If you ever feel like somebody's watching from outside, or if you ever feel like uncomfortable, like, let me know, because it's literally like my job and my job only to make you feel safe here, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Got the
like,
chills.
it can be a lot of pressure.
I got the
It can be
chills,
a
and
lot of,
I'm like,
yes,
ooh.
it can be a lot of fucking pressure, like, especially there, like I said, like, all 4 walls are glass. We're right off El Cajon Boulevard. So like a lot
Yeah.
of like unhoused people walk by and they'll stop and stare. But I always make it known, like, you're watching, but you're also being watched.
Right.
I may not remember your name, but I never forget a face.
Exactly.
Um so yeah, and even like communicating that with like the person that I work under was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Um but I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna take matters into my own hands. I'm never really in a position where I don't have like my phone, or yeah, just like a place to go. But yeah, and I don't like to like manifest these things. Um, like, just keep thinking about it, and like eventually you attract it, you know.
Yeah.
But again, just being aware that that is like a possibility in like anybody's life, anywhere you're at, you know. So whew, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. That was definitely a trigger for you. I can hear
Whew.
it, and the
Mhm.
change in your vibration,
Mhm.
through your frequencies. Yes, like
Mhm.
it's a real thing, and people don't understand that, like, triggers show up in different types of ways. For example, yours was a perfect example. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, he may have or could have been harmful, or he may have been
Mhm.
harmless, but in the end, the result was that this unknown person walked in with a room full of children, experiencing
Mhm.
everything that we are hearing and about society and things that are
Mhm.
happening. We have to be aware. We have to be more mindful of our surroundings and what's going on in our presence.
Yeah.
So that's I love the fact that you tell your kids to pause, to
Yeah.
breathe, to just
Mhm.
stop for 1 second.
Yeah.
That's
And
very, very important.
And I always kind of like talk to them about that too, because like being somebody who, I don't have a degree or anything like that, you know. um and again, these things should not matter, but I realize, and just being the type of person that I am, I can't help but notice these things. They let anybody in the world work with fucking kids.
Yeah.
They let anybody around kids, and that's really where like I put I like fucking extend my aura around everybody that I work with, because I'm like, yo, like it's really, they just let anybody work with kids.
Yeah.
And all of these I saw something the other day where it was like in fucking Illinois or Iowa or some middle America state, where a teacher was sending like a 16-year-old nudes because he liked her, and the age
Wow.
of consent is like 6. Like, no, it doesn't matter, that's a child.
No, that
And
is
I have
more
all of
like.
my siblings and all of my cousins are younger than me, so
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I'm like, I will fight for.
Yo, yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. Like, it doesn't like the fact we all have our own voices and we all have, the power to say yes or no, but we
Mhm.
as adults know what is morally, ethically right and what is
Mhm.
morally and ethically wrong. And if we have
Mhm.
some weird, twisted way, and I don't want to put shame on this person, but we all know like that
Mhm.
is not
Exactly.
okay. That is
Exactly.
not okay. This
Even
person
like
is
a 40 year
not
old and like a
developed.
21-year-old, it doesn't matter. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it any less weird.
It doesn't. It's
Mhm.
that's a 20-year gap almost.
Exactly.
Like this person is still growing, not even knowing what they are, who they are, their
Exactly.
power. So like that gives that person like a way to manipulate and shift and guide their views
Exactly.
and not being able to be their authentic self because they don't know,
Exactly. Exactly.
Phew, girl, yes, this conversation was everything that I needed.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, we're gonna just touch on a little bit more. We talked about a lot, and I didn't even have to ask that many questions. I just loved how open and vulnerable you are with me. Like this is
Yeah.
this is this is great.
It's taking work, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
yeah, it's just opening my heart, opening my throat chakra, and just being sure and grounded in the things that I say. And like I said, like just being more confident in who I am and what I'm about really shape that like opportunity, pave the way for like me to be able to do this right now, you know. This is
Yeah,
not something I ever thought I'd be doing, you know.
girl, me too.
Um, right? You know? Um, but it's what we need.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's definitely what we need. And like you already touched base on like how you said I want to extend my energy because they let just anybody work with kids. Like what are some ways you feel like we can better protect our future generations, especially from the suffering
Mm-hmm.
that you've experienced in the past, that we're currently experiencing in society, you know?
Mm-hmm. Um, that's a great question. Um, like I said, I feel like it's very common in like our communities to use like fear as a
Hmm.
teaching tool.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like I said, like with the instance that happened the other day, like you don't want to instill that fear in them.
Hmm.
And navigating that, like learning to navigate that is really challenging, but just fucking trying, just having the patience to not get angry,
Hmm.
and to just like have compassion, because like a lot of times the way like people talk to children, their own children or children that don't belong to them, you know, like you wouldn't even talk to like your friends like that.
Hmm.
You wouldn't talk to like your fucking sibling like that. So like why is it that you feel, you know, you need to, I don't know, just belittle someone because they are littler than you know?
Yeah.
Um, so I do feel just like empowering them to be who they are. And like me existing as like a queer black teacher, I don't I see this a lot too, and I don't want to get off topic, but I see this a
Go
lot,
ahead.
like people, um I don't know what to call it, like influence
Mm-hmm.
kids to, like, I don't know, like come out or be gay or whatever it is. Um
Mm-hmm.
you know, but me myself, I just feel like I'm just going to hold space for you to exist as you are,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to encourage like anything more or anything less than that, you know?
Yeah.
And we can work on just like our like emotions and how to deal with them, and different sorts of things. Like, you're having problems with your friends, okay, how can I address this?
Mm-hmm.
um but as far as like how you exist in the world, like just allow them to be who they are, and do what it is that they want to fucking do. They already know, they don't need help
Mm-hmm.
figuring it out. um but if they do, they will ask. You don't have to like pry or tell them what it is. Like, they will definitely teach you more than you think, more than you
Mm-hmm.
realize. Like, they
Yup.
teach you more than like you're teaching them at all times. I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly learning from them, and they know that. They
Yeah.
know that.
So the question, guys, were what are some ways we can better protect our future generations? And she stated
Mhm.
just pretty much holding space and providing that compassion and allowing them to find their own voice within themselves, as opposed
Mhm.
to us influencing and directing them in a way that we want
Mhm.
them to be. And I think that's
Exactly.
very, very powerful, Jasmine. Like that is something that I hold dear. I'm the
Mhm.
same way. I even when it's adults, even to when it's little kids, like
Mhm.
I want you to be you, and you don't have
Exactly.
to fake, you don't have to put up a front, you don't have to pretend to be this and that. Like, I can see
Mhm.
past that and I can see who you
Exactly.
are. So why don't you just be who you are? So I really love that.
Exactly.
I really
Yeah.
love that. Thank you.
Mhm. I also
uh,
feel like, just one more thing, like I
no, yeah,
said
go ahead.
earlier, just like allowing them to voice when they're uncomfortable with something, or just whatever it is that they're feeling, just like allow them space to say that,
Yeah.
and give them the tools, whether it be like the younger ones, like maybe they don't have the words, because a lot of times they are experiencing these things for the first time ever, these emotions, these scenarios,
Mm,
anything, whatever it is. A lot of times it's the first time they've ever felt this.
yeah.
um so don't always expect them to like use words. Sometimes it's
Hmm.
a picture, sometimes it's a color, sometimes it's a texture, sometimes
Yeah.
they just need a different way. And sometimes, and as an adult, sometimes I don't have words,
Hmm.
but sometimes I feel like a cactus, or
Mm,
I feel like a blueberry. I feel small, but I feel a little sweet, like it's
yeah. No, that's
and
that's
it
exactly what
sounds
that is.
silly, but like it's very real. And I feel like a lot more people we just need different ways of like expressing ourselves, and and just like understanding things, because there's no one size fits all.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
that's funny that you say that, because even myself, like when I go into describing something or I start to, like, respond to something, I'll say it in my way and someone would just be like, "Oh, this?" And I'm just like, "Well, yeah, I guess if that's how you see it.
Right.
But being able to like get all that out and then get
Right.
or try to get it out and then get cut off
Mhm.
because they say it's just this, I'm just like,
Right.
well, now I don't feel like my voice mattered at that. But like what
Right.
my
Exactly.
responsibility. So this what she's saying, guys, is that it's very important because it can get dragged out into our adulthood, and not being
Mhm.
able to express who we are and use our voice leads to suppression. So it's really, really important to allow kids, adults, anyone that you interact with to be able to respond and express how they feel in their own way, and not judge
Mhm.
them for it, and not mislead them to what your belief is. So
Exactly.
holding that space for them is very, very important, and also just hearing them out,
Yeah.
providing a different outlet as opposed to words, because sometimes we don't have the words. Not I stay with words, but sometimes there's those times where I really don't have the words and I go dance. you know, and
Exactly.
you play a song, you're like, this is how I'm feeling. I can't tell you per se, but this is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
So thank you for pinpointing that, because I think that's very,
Of
very important.
course. Of
Very, very
course.
important.
And existing, I guess existing like as a person, just having, okay, they're outside doing a whole lot.
It's okay.
Um existing as like a person, or just learning to move with like an open heart and with more compassion. Like our hearts are magnets.
Hmm.
So even if you don't, even if you think you don't understand, like your soul will resonate with whatever it is they're expressing in whatever way. You just have to like be open to receive that.
Exactly.
And that's like what holding space looks like.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. Well, honestly, I want to close up the interview with just that, because that is what's important. Holding
Mm-hmm.
space and giving that compassion, and our hearts are very magnifying. So if we're leading with hate, that's all we're going to attract. You know, if we're
Exactly.
leading with love, that's what we're going to attract. If we're holding compassion, we're going to receive compassion. And that's a friendly reminder, not just to everyone out there, but to me as well, you know. That just hit home for me. I'm just like, oh my God, yes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any last thing you want to say? Is there words of encouragement, to, you know, advice to the kids to come after us, the generations, even the adults listening, you know, anything you want to just put out there? One last thing.
Um, all I can really say is stay beautiful. And if you don't feel beautiful, just know that you are. You know, tell yourself. And they always say, like, fake it till you make it. Like, sometimes you really just have to, like, say, even when you don't believe them. And you
Hmm.
will, one day you'll be like, you know what? You're right, self. So just stay true to yourself. Stay authentic. Just continue to exist as you are.
Yes. I agree with her. Thank you so much, Jasmine Ayana. I really, really, really appreciate your time and your conversation and your words of encouragement and authenticity. It's definitely needed in everything that we're trying to do. And you have our support all the way. If you need anything, let us know. If you guys aren't following her now, I will have her handles on for Instagram in the description for the episode. But
Yes.
thank you, Jasmine. You have a blessed day.
Thank you so much for this. Thank you. You
You're
too.
very welcome. All right. Peace.
All right, bye.